Alright, welcome back to the Safe House Scoreboard podcast. It's your host, Jared Gaming, along with my co host,
Adam the Atomizer.
and today we are giving a review on Shrek 2, the video game for at least the one I played for the GameCube, and quite possibly other systems like the PS2 or something, things in those era. But without further ado, let's get on to describing how our experience went. So for me, I played maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours of this game. I played roughly half of the chapters in this game. If you don't know Shrek 2, the video game, it is segmented into different chapters where each of you have, like, you have like 4 characters you can switch between that are following along a storyline that is a bit different than the actual like Shrek 2 storyline, or maybe it's like just more in depth. I think maybe it's just more in depth because some of the things that you do in this game aren't in Shrek 2, but it vaguely follows the same story. So anyway, so there are different chapters, and I got roughly halfway through. I'd say I the last one I beat was I had just gotten to Far Far Away, the little kingdom place. Anyway, so that's what the game is. So let's get on to our reviews. Starting with the gameplay. Atomizer, you want to take it off?
Okay, so I didn't play nearly as much of the game as Gyroid did. I think I only played like the first level, but that was more than enough for me to actually get my thoughts on it. Honestly, it's pretty comfortable to play, like, especially given it's like from 2004. I had to look it up to make sure I got my year right. But I think it's engaging with enough side options per level to keep you invested. Because I had a good time, like with all the little side quests, like with the magic beans and rescuing the dwarves, and like honestly, I thought for a little bit seeing that list of side quests would be a bit overwhelming, but they don't clutter the level with it, you know.
Yeah.
I also like like he mentioned, you get like 4 different characters per level. What I find fun is that like each character in that level has a pretty diverse move set specific to their character. Like no two characters can do the same exact thing except for like punching people. Like punching people is a given, but like it's like how Shrek can just jump in the air and do a belly flop if he wants to, and like Gingy when he jumps in the air he can throw a candy cane. Like he can hit like targets that way, and like I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback on that and say that, like, I also did enjoy like um, the wide mix of different abilities and stuff. That like it did make the levels feel a bit more like in depth.
Hmm. Right. All right. So, um, like he said with the story too, like it did feel a bit more in depth than what the movie actually gave us. Cause from the one level I did play, the fact that you were about to play the journey too far, far away, and you got well, Gingy left, and then you got Red Riding Hood in exchange. I didn't get to play that level because I have limited time as is, but I was looking forward to it if I did get the second chance to play it. Like I would want to see what her abilities were in in exchange to what Gingy could do, and like that I thought that was really cool as well. But I think my favorite thing about this game is the whole hero time mechanic, where like they choose to focus on one specific character per level, and they give them the spotlight based on something that they specifically can do. Like I like how it's not Shrek focused. Like yes, Shrek's a big part of the game. He's the flagship character, but like the fact that they take the time to focus on other people, like with the first level, like Fiona, who she did the whole blackbird thing that you can see in the movies, where she sings to the blackbirds and then they blow up if you do well enough. I lost like 2 of those birds, but it was cool. It was different. I liked it. The only thing gameplay wise I wish they would have changed was like actually giving me instructions on different things before it became relevant, because otherwise maybe things would have gone differently about my party being almost wiped before I discovered this. Oh, hey, there's an invincibility potion sitting over here. That would have been nice to know before it's just Donkey sitting on the field against the Merry Men.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Sounds like
got
you had a bit of a
smoked.
rough time there.
But all that aside, that's my only complaint. So gameplay, my score is a 20 out of 25.
Oh wow, that's a pretty high score. So from my perspective, I also pretty I enjoyed myself a lot more this game. Like I enjoyed it a lot more than the last game for sure. It was like obviously I played a lot more of this game than I did the last one because the last one I got bored of. And I did enjoy the different like the focus on having different abilities with different heroes and different things like that. And yeah, the hero times were interesting. Like the first level obviously was Fiona, like Atomizer said. The second level was Donkey riding Dragon through like a narrow alleyway. I feel like I remember that one from my
Was
childhood
that the
for some
second
reason.
level?
Yeah, that was the second level.
Oh
The third
man, that
level was
I remember that one.
I don't know if it was third level or like I think it was the third level. Shrek was like beating up all the rats from the Pied Piper or something. No, no, no. That was just a regular mission. The Shrek hero time was he had to grab a bunch of goons and throw them in the back of a carriage. But yeah, like the hero times were definitely interesting, and they were very unique. And while I did enjoy the game itself, the gameplay loop was very samey. Like you walk, you you do something, you have one character, and you do that thing with them, and then you switch characters to do a different thing with them, to do a different thing with that character, etc., etc. So to me, although it was fun for a couple of hours, it wasn't like the most innovative gameplay of all time. It was still a very monotonous gameplay loop, and unfortunately, that means that my score is going to be a 15 out of 25. Not nearly as high as Atomizer, but
Okay.
I still think it was pretty decent.
Well, I will say gameplay
All
was
right.
my highest score, so anything that would be less than 20.
Oh yeah. So now for originality. So originality, I mean, it's based off a movie, so compared to the movie, it's not very original, but even still, compared to the movie, it is more original than the movie because it expands upon the storyline. Like the whole traveling too far, far away, there's like two full levels of that. They do not have like almost any of that in the movie. The only thing they have in the movie is like they get in a carriage and then they kind of show up. So it's like they really did go for originality in this one. And the ability to switch between characters, I felt like, at least with like the certain abilities I had and certain objectives, were also pretty unique. So, in terms of originality, my score was a 17 out of 25.
Okay. All right, so my turn for originality. Like I can imagine that like there are also games for the other Shrek movies, but I personally have not played them, so I cannot judge based on those games. I will say that based on other co-op games of its kind that are based on movies, like like this is the only one with the hero type mechanic, like I mentioned earlier. So I found that pretty fun, and it's pretty original to me. And like we mentioned earlier with the storyline, like it expanded on the storyline to stuff you wouldn't normally have seen in the movies, and I found that adding up to the factor in the originality, and I thought it was entertaining. So I give originality a 19 out of 25.
Oh wow, you were rating this game pretty high.
No, don't believe for the last two categories.
Ah, okay. So yeah, overall feel. Do you want to take it away for overall
I'll go
feel?
first for this one. I think the game, while I was playing it, felt a little clunky. Like the graphics are forgivable because it was a 2004 video game, but the audio was pretty fun to listen to. But after a while, like the voice lines did start to get a bit repetitive to me. Like they started saying the same things when I did certain actions. So, like they could have recorded more voice lines, give them a little more diversity. But when a game starts to loop audio like that, it starts to get a bit, yeah, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
That and like I felt like the controls were a little slow. Like I would get into a combat combo, but if I wanted to jump out of the way of something, it I would still be punching, trying to push the A button to jump out of the way. So like the slow responsiveness on the controls was also a factor for me, and that caused me to rate this game at a 13 out of 25.
Hmm. Interesting. I mean, I certainly didn't feel all that clunkiness and stuff. Like, I mean, not as badly as it sounds like you did, but I do agree that like some of the combat wasn't like the best, like in terms of like how it felt to do. Like sometimes they were just like it was kind of annoying, and the voice lines I do agree could have been better, or maybe they could have used them more sparingly. Like even if they didn't record more voice lines, if they used them more sparingly, it would be less obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I do have like the same critiques as you. Like, but like one thing I did have to say about overall feel that you didn't mention is like, well, you also didn't really have much insight on it. Like, the level design was like pretty true to the movies, I would say. Like, although it like the first level did have a round level, like you loop back to Shrek's swamp, which I found a little bit weird. Other than that, I felt like the other levels were like fairly accurate to
I think it was because
the
like they were
movie.
looking for eyeballs for Shrek specifically before they go on their journey.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. It just seemed a little weird to me that it was a loop,
Yeah.
and because it was a loop, I got confused and did the loop again instead of going the proper path the second time I got to Shrek's house. So, I mean, for me, like, I mean, they were decent environments, like they were like fairly close to the movie, but at the same time, it does have like those old graphics. I'm glad they didn't try to like have like those realistic, I say realistic with air quotes, realistic human faces like they do in like that Star Wars game that we had yesterday, or
Mm-hmm.
not yesterday, last week. Like like some of those like creepy faces are just like I just don't like it.
They're etched into your
But
memory.
yeah, and it was a distinct style back in that day of like all of their faces looked like that, but the Shrek did it differently, and like obviously they don't have very many like actual humans, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt like even the humans didn't look as creepy.
Right.
But anyway,
Like
so
they
overall
didn't feel
feel
as
for me,
lifeless.
yeah, exactly. Overall feel for me gets a 14 out of 25.
Gotcha. So this is one of the ones that you're a little bit higher than I am.
Yeah. And now for replayability. So, for me, this was one of my worst categories because, like, personally, I don't think I would want to replay this game very much. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it enough while I was playing it, but, like, I can't imagine going back and playing it again because it's like I mentioned in an earlier category, the gameplay loop is very same-ish. So it's like once you do it once, then it's like, yeah, I know what's going on here. And the second level got was a little bit annoying because the objective there was you had to lead the three blind mice like through the woods or something to find a witch. I don't really know. I don't remember fully, but like basically the three blind mice are walking around and going along a straight path, and you have to protect them from getting into any danger because obviously they're blind, they're not going to see the danger. And there were certain obstacles along the path that really were annoying to deal with, or like I couldn't figure out, and replaying those sections were really annoying, which is where I'm basing my not probably wanting to replay the actual game itself. because replaying those sections were always really annoying because it's like, I know what's happening here. I've already done this kind of
Hmm.
deal.
Replaying things you already done was never your strong suit.
That is true. If I fail something enough times and I have to replay it multiple times, that is where I start to get tilted. I didn't really get too tilted in this game, although like there was one specific section on that level that I mentioned that I was starting to get annoyed at because I couldn't like figure out how to like do it, and I just kept failing over and over again. But I mean, overall, it was still decent, so I gave it a 10 out of 25 for replayability. You
Ooh,
could replay it, I
you
just
weren't
don't.
kidding. That was scathing.
I mean, I didn't really think I don't really think I would like to replay it, to be honest. I mean, my initial playthrough was fun-ish, but like it wasn't enough that I would replay it.
No, I gotcha. I feel like I was a little more generous in this category. Not as high as the other two, but like a little more generous because I took into account the fact that there's a co-op multiplayer aspect that we did not get to explore for this game.
Mm,
So like,
that is true.
while I might not see myself playing this game alone again, just because of the reasons that you gave, like I would come back to it once, maybe twice, with different friends and then like family, if like we all wanted to play Shrek 2. Cause like I feel like it would be a different experience with all four of us playing a different character. Like
Oh yeah.
other than that, I wouldn't come back to it single-handedly. So with that in mind and your critiques, I'm giving this an 18 out of 25 for replayability.
Interesting. Interesting.
But only because
I
I'm taking the multiplayer into account.
I feel like despite multiplayer being a thing that you could consider, like it would only bump it up a couple of points. I feel like even with multiplayer, I wouldn't really want to replay the levels I've already played. Like I would be down to like play the levels I haven't played with other people, but like I don't know. To me, it doesn't have very much replayability.
No, I
But
gotcha.
anyway, let's get to our final scores and the scoring it on the tier list, aka the scoreboard.
Yep, the
So
scoreboard.
so for me, I had a 56 out of 100 as my total score. A bit low compared to what I would have thought, but I mean it's still a decent game.
And mine ended up higher than I would have anticipated, given the fact that when I was a kid, I didn't want to play this game all that often, because I wasn't really too into story-driven games at that time. But I ended up with a 70 out of 100.
Whoa, that's a big jump from me, but we are still in the same category.
Are
We
we still
are
in the same
both
tier?
with Yeah, we are both within B tier. It's 51 to 75.
Oh wow, we're on like on the opposite ends of it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it fit solidly into B tier. I might be a bit critical in some of the things I think about games. Like, I feel like most of my scores have been like, well, I guess not the last game, but
The last game
I
got
was
what
gonna
it
say,
deserved.
yeah. I mean, I feel like besides the last game where you had a literal zero in a category, most of
I
the
had a
time
zero in a
I'm a bit
category.
more critical than you. Yeah, like besides the zero, like if you didn't have a zero in a category and you had like an actual number, I feel like most of my reviews are more critical than you are.
I
Like
try
I
to
don't
be
know why.
critical,
Me,
but like I'm not heartless.
I wouldn't say I'm heartless.
Like
I've just
Jedi
played
Academy
some.
deserved it.
Yeah, they did deserve it, but I'm just saying, like I've played some really, really good games. So like, I'm not comparing them per se, but like when I think of an S tier game, I think of certain games that maybe we'll play eventually. I don't really know, but I think of some certain games and how good they were and how much I enjoyed the first playthrough. Like certain games, I was hooked. I could not put them down. So far, I have not really encountered that in any of the games we've played so far. Granted, Mario Party 7 is fun for a different reason. It's fun for the multiplayer, which is why it still ended up like pretty close to S tier.
Mm-hmm.
But
Get my mic. Anyway, like I do agree. Like I do, although I think we may have different opinions on what games deserve to be S tier, because we played different games. We grew up liking different games growing up. Like it, while we agree on most things, I feel like so far there will be a time where we differ heavily on certain things because we just have different tastes in games.
Yeah, I mean, once we start dipping into certain like game categories that we like more than the other person, I feel like that'll definitely be like more prominent.
Anyway, now
But
that's out of the
at the
way.
moment, yeah, I was just gonna say one last thing on on that
Okay.
topic. Like at the moment, so far we've only really played like games that either we've known about or like we don't know anything about. Like once we start like picking games that we actually like maybe if we actually like them or like we know the other person doesn't like them or something, it might have differing opinions. But at the moment, that is true. Once we figure out how that's gonna work, like with patrons giving us suggestions, like maybe once we get a big enough Patreon or like anyone in the Patreon, then we'll start having polls, like maybe like once a month. The patrons can decide on a game or something. We'll see. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We still have yet to release the actual videos of our gameplay so far.
Exactly. Like, I'm almost done with the Mario Party 7 one. I just finished the 14 turn run of Neon Heights.
Oh yeah,
But the
if
last
you're
two
really
were
going in
shorter.
depth with that edit, but was that?
The last two were shorter, so the video will be done soon.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not going in as
It's
in
because I'm
depth
trying to
as
cut a
you
lot of the
are.
stuff out. Like, yeah, add the extra movement I'm trying to cut out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm probably not gonna cut all that nonsense out. I'm just gonna let it lie as it does, because if we're gonna be uploading this weekly in addition to my upload schedule on my main channel, I don't really have time to do both.
No, I got you.
If people want to see it, I'm sure they'll watch it. Like once we play someone's favorite game, they'll want to see a long play of it.
Hmm.
But I do think people will also enjoy your Mario Party gameplay because, like, I saw a couple of the edits you made, and like it's definitely like appealing to like a more general audience as opposed to like mine is like for someone who loves Mario Party 7 and just wants to see Mario Party 7 gameplay.
Hmm.
Anyway, let me. Okay, and so now it is on to picking the final game, or not the final game. Why did I say the final game? The
Why are
next
we
game.
ending the series already?
No, we're not ending the series on episode 4
I
of the
know.
next game. So the next game is my choice because Admiser chose Shrek 2 surprisingly, and this might be like very out of left field because I've never played any of these games before, but my choice is Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advanced.
Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance?
Yes,
No wonder you said
according
that
to
would
the
be.
internet, yeah, according to the internet, it is on the Nintendo Switch expansion pack, like
No
on
wonder
the
you said it would be an
emulators in
expansion
there.
pack.
Yeah,
I mean, I have it, but that's a deep cut. Holy smokes!
yeah. I wanted to try a Metroid game, and I figured you also have never tried a Metroid game, so I thought it might
Yeah,
be
like
fun. And I kind of like scraped Reddit for which ones most people thought were the best one to start with. And I guess I got a lot of Metroid Fusions. There were a lot of other opinions too, but Metroid Fusion seemed like the easiest one to accomplish.
okay, like Metroid games have never personally called out to me per se, but I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly. They've never really spoken to me either, so I've I decided maybe since we have to play it for this series, it might be a good way to like get one of us into these games, you know?
Yeah, it might be a nice way to dip our toes into different genres that we would never have considered had we not started a podcast like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the point of this podcast is, making us try games whether or not we think we'll like them or not.
Otherwise, yeah, there might be games we might never want to even look at.
Yeah,
Or
like
there are
just
games we
purely
might
based off
want to
of.
look at and then we think are utter garbage, like a certain Jedi game we
Yeah,
played earlier.
yup, exactly. But I
I feel
figured
like
it
it's
might
going
be
to
a
be an
fun
inside
way
joke
to
to this
force us
series.
to play it. Yeah, I mean until we get something that's actually F tier.
Yeah. This is the figure.
I'm
F
sure.
tier.
I'm sure eventually we'll find an actual F tier game. Because
Probably.
like Star Wars Jedi Academy, with all its flaws, is not like that bad of a game. I'm sure people would enjoy somewhat.
Yeah, it was good for its time, but at the same time.
Anyway, so that's what we're playing next week. Metroid Fusion. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to give us 5 stars on there. And if you're on Spotify, I think it's also 5 stars. And please check out our Patreon, patreon.com/SaveFileScoreboard. We are going to upload our videos from the... we're going to upload the videos from our gameplay of these games onto there. At the moment, we don't have anything up yet. But if you like listening to your podcasts via Patreon, the podcasts also release for free over there as well. So if your RSS feed for podcasts is on Patreon, we also offer our episodes for free on Patreon if you join for free. Even if you only want to join for free so you can get the podcast episodes, just check us out over there too. We appreciate any and all support. And check out our individual channels, YouTube and Twitch, at Gyroid Gaming and at the Atomizer. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Later.